Hello, You! That's right, folks, a new season of You is upon us. So let's jog your memory a little before we binge watch the new one. Starting with, we meet during the season Joe Goldberg. So without wasting any time, in this season, Joe is just your friendly bookstore manager in New York City. You see that he's smart and charming, but the only problem? He's a murderer with a hero complex and a borderline creepy stalker. Then we're introduced to Guinevere Beck, who had the misfortune of catching Goldberg's eye and becoming You.
Hello. Do you work here?
Guilty. Can I help you find something?
Paula Fox?
It's a good choice.
He goes to extraordinary lengths just to seduce the aspiring artist, and leaves nothing up to fate as he manipulates his encounters with Beck. Let's go over some of the season's dead bodies, shall we? Well, first up we have Benji, Beck's on and off again douchey boyfriend. And for obvious reasons he had to go, right? Joe sees that and kills the poor guy in a glass murder tank in his bookstore's basement. Yep, just something his foster dad Mr. Mooney left him. And don't even get me started on that guy.
Maple almond latte. 2 stevia. 2 tablespoons of peanut oil.
The next victim is Peach, Beck's best friend, who's pretty controlling and manipulative and totally in love with Beck. But she has super good instincts that end up with her getting shot by our favorite bookstore manager. Justice for Peach, right? But the craziness doesn't just end there. Goldberg gets caught up in his neighbor's drama, as if trying to hide the fact that you committed 2 murders wasn't enough. Joe decided to look after Paco, who's a young boy and a victim of his mother's addiction and her abusive relationship with Ron. One day, when Ron beats up Paco's mother so badly she winds up in the hospital, Joe, being Joe, decides to kill the guy. I get that no one was crazy about Ron, but still, it's the worst. Oh, and Paco witnesses the murder. Meanwhile, Beck is seeing a therapist, Dr. Nikki, after struggling to cope with Peach's death, and well, sleeping with him as well. What a couple, right? Unfortunately, our aspiring writer doesn't make it out alive either. After finding Joe's box of trophies containing teeth and stuff, he puts her in the box, as he does with all his problems, and eventually kills her off screen. Poor Beck. All the murders get blamed on Dr. Nikki, as Joe frames him with Beck's memoir. What's more is that Candace, the ex-girlfriend of Joe, who everyone assumed was dead, shows up in the final episode, and Goldberg looks like he's seen a ghost. But if you thought this season was chaotic, well, season 2 was completely out of control. After seeing Candace, he literally buried his ex. Joe realizes he's in big trouble, so he escapes his vengeful ex, swears off love, and moves to LA. Like many people in that city, he chooses to reinvent himself and goes by the name of Will Bettelheim. Oh, and he kidnaps the real Will and keeps him in the famous glass death box, which he rebuilt, proving that while Joe might have a new name, he's still the same person. Then we meet Love. Yeah, her name is literally Love. I don't know what to tell you guys. Love's super rich parents own the grocery store where Joe is working. She's a young widow and an amazing baker, so it really fits the whole I'm damaged, save me thing for Joe. Also, Love has a brother, 40, who's super codependent on her and struggles with drugs. They have a very strange relationship, but then 40 finds love too, and it's Candace. She has a fake name, and it's Amy. Super original, right? There's also this whole storyline with Joe's neighbors, Delilah and Ellie, who are sisters. And we get to learn about Joe's not-so-nice childhood too, and his first murder victim, his mom's abusive boyfriend. In a shocking turn of events, we see that Joe isn't the only murderer around. At first, you might think Love is just another innocent victim in all this, right? Way off, people. She's even crazier than he is. Love killed her and 40's au pair after she found out that she was sexually abusing her brother, just at the age of 13. And all this time, 40 thinks he killed her, hence all the trauma and pain he goes through. Not only that, but she murders Delilah after she finds out about Joe's glass box.
Please just help me before he gets back.
With Ellie becoming the new Paco for Joe. Candace suffers a similar fate at her hands. Seriously, it's like everyone on this show is a complete psycho. When Joe finds out about all of this, he tries to kill Love, who reveals that she's pregnant with his baby? Oh, and 40 is killed too after Candace tells him everything about Joe, and he goes down a deranged path and tries to kill Joe, but ends up getting shot by a police officer. In the end, we see the couple moving to California, where they plan to start their family. But is Joe ready to leave his murderous behavior behind? Season 3 pretty much answers that for us. It seems like Joe met his match, and he didn't like it at all. The two raised their newborn son Henry, whom Joe believes hates him. Go figure. Then there's the neighbor Natalie, a realtor who becomes Joe's newest obsession. But he doesn't do anything about it since he wants to keep his family together.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking for a friend.
It doesn't take long for Love to figure it out, and she confesses to Natalie that she wants to open up a bakery.
Have this fantasy of opening a bakery.
There's a space available that might be perfect. Call me if you ever want to see it.
While the two are touring the potential bakery space, Love picks up an axe and slits Natalie's throat, and we're back to square one.
Natalie!
I wanted to see the place you were talking about for a bakery.
We can have this place up and running crazy fast. In the right hands, this place could be a raging success. So, what do you think?
After telling Joe about it, the two have a fight and decide to try couples counseling, as if that'll work.
Hey, you okay?
Joe, I think we need to go to couples therapy.
After Natalie's gone, Joe finds Marion, a librarian, to obsess over. He even kills her ex Ryan for her.
Simple overdose is out, but he was wasted, stepped too close to the edge, even took a tragic leap. It all works so long.
Nothing new. Natalie's stepson also falls head over heels for Love. Love ends up finding out about Joe's affair with Marion and decides to kill him. She poisons him, and he collapses on the floor.
You don't have to worry. This time I'm letting it absorb through the skin.
Oh, no. No.
Do I need to point out that none of this would be happening if you hadn't grabbed a weapon?
Oh, wow.
No one will ever love you like I do, Joe.
Then she calls Marion over for a casual chat and reveals to her that it was Joe who killed Ryan.
What if I told you Joe's the one who killed your ex? Then Orion was mugged. Uh-huh. Because he's obsessed with you. When he's obsessed with someone, he'll do anything for them. I should know. He was obsessed with me until he met you.
The mother's saved when her daughter comes rushing in, and Love has a change of heart and decides to let her go. But how does it all end for Joe? As Love heads back to comfort Joe, he injects her with the same drug and paralyzes her. It turns out he was expecting it all from the beginning. Both of them realize that they aren't good for their son, and Joe decides to leave Henry with a good friend, Dante. He then creates the perfect crime scene to make it look like Love killed him. In the end, we see Joe living in Paris without Love. Now, you might be wondering when the next season is dropping. Season 4 is going to be released in 2 parts. Netflix has confirmed that we'll be able to stream the series on February 9th, 2023, and the second part will be available just a month later on March 9th, 2023. Our very favorite Penn Badgley will be returning to play Joe Goldberg as Professor Jonathan Moore, now based in London. Marion is still on his mind, but you won't be seeing any familiar faces other than these two. A whole new cast has been introduced, such as Lucas Cage, who's best known for his role in shows such as Euphoria. Penn has said that this time, the season will focus more on Joe's relationship with himself. Safe to say the season will be pretty interesting. And if you still haven't watched the trailer, go watch it right after this video. Well, that's all for today, guys. I'll see you in the next one.